These things were never meant to be formalized, formed in a way that makes them a form. They were just meant to be. And that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to just be. The brutality of it is what makes it live. The brutality of it is what makes it live. Order back to calm, liquid and free and binding, safe, killer, naked. Water transcends time and space, flows from our ancestors. Water can heal. In our ancestral life, water is memory. What if the ocean was in the sky? There's always a standard or form of beauty you're not meeting. It's all impossible. Fighting for humanity, but we have left humanity behind. Water is a dancer in its own right. Carry me away, carry me away, carry me away. We are water, moon, tidelings. You can't trap her in your taps, or catch her in paintings or writing. The element of change. Water is the element of change. Real change is coming. Can't you feel it floating on the wind?
Times are getting weary, problems accumulating like thick fog, making it hard to see clearly, not knowing what road to take, trying to differentiate wrong from right for your sake. Hurting inside but masking it from you. Because although I'm scared, that's the last thing I want to do. I look up to you, you're always my role model, but it's strange you've become. It's just awful, lift me up, drag me back down, trying to keep myself above the sea, trying not to drown. All I ever wanted was to make you proud, but it's getting harder to concentrate. The screams are just too loud! stare at me in utter disappointment, and I look back to you as if I knew in that moment I can cross the 7 seas and conquer the greatest battles, but fighting against you I can never handle. I realise the most tactical way to end all of this, so I hug you like it was the last time, and I give you the sweetest kiss, and I say it's okay, I love you no matter what you do, because it's something that I'm used to thanks to you. And so we walk away from this going different ways, you with a heavy heart, me with the greatest strength to go through my days. This love will never fade, because this bond, although it may not be perfect, is something I would never trade. Never trade. Ever.
It passes us every day, every minute, every second, every moment. Every moment we choose what path to take in this endless current of time. Which rocks to dodge, which branch to reach, whether to brace for impact or let the fall take you. Each choice pushes us to another, and another, and another. What if? What if I didn't? What if I had? What if? What now? Enjoy the now. Enjoy the cold, harsh, relentless now. Today's now is tomorrow's then. Now won't happen again. The water never stops. So swim. Swim.
Turned up at my house last night. Yeah, I know.
I want to return home.
I said to her, what are you doing here? You got some nerve. I don't want to see
I
you.
want to find myself there. I want to greet myself coming back, and I'll say to myself,
crying.
what kept you, dickhead?
God knows why. I haven't seen her in 7 years.
want to
I
greet
said, that
the
ain't going to work
landscape.
on me, love, so you can stop it now,
Disappear
alright?
into it. I won't just look, but I'll touch.
She
Bury
has to
whole
come
limbs
in.
into sand. Lean into the wind, feel the spray on my face, the salt
She
in
was
my
like, well, there
tongue.
ain't another bus for
Nourish
40
in my
minutes,
heart.
so can I come in and dry off? It's pouring
I want
down.
to tear across Valley Bridge.
And I said, honestly, I
Heart
don't care if
thumping
you've
in
got
my chest.
hypothermia. You're not
I
coming
want to
in
go
here.
everywhere we went on our boards with my brothers.
So we stood on the doorstep.
The arcades. The firefighter simulation at Luna Park, all reopened to greet me.
And I was looking at her. You know, like,
I
proper
want to
looking
scan
at her.
our front door.
And she was
Hear
crying.
that familiar beep and clunk.
She was all shivering, and her little puffer jacket were all wet.
Want to find the
And
ghosts
she was
I'm
holding this
looking
little
for.
poly bag.
Need to find them. Flesh and bone. But if I can't, I'll lie on the floor
I
in
don't know,
every
she
room
looked
in
like
our
she did when we
house,
were
face
kids.
down, soak up the history from our carpet. Feed on the past.
Like proper small.
And when my heart is full, I want to jump off the headlands in
But I
all my
said-
clothes. Enter the water
You're not my
with a
family
violent
anymore.
crash, no fear.
I don't know you. I don't know the
And then
first thing about
silence.
you. You know, you chose your life.
I want to allow
You chose
myself
to leave.
sink.
You said we weren't good enough for you.
Watch the bubbles come.
Why the fuck would I help you now?
I'll make my peace with the sea. Childhood fears and fraught journeys of adulthood are raised by the North Bay. In the dark and calm, alone.
So she left. And I
I am
watched her
home.
go from the doorstep in the rain.
I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had placed it on the floor and went to blow the fire aflame, something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the glistening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips, and take her hands, and walk along long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done, the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun.
Yo adivino parpadeo de la luz que quedó lejos, van marcando mi retorno. Son la misma que alumbraron con sus pálidos reflejos, honda hora de dolor, y aunque nunca ese regreso, siempre se vuelve al primer amor. La vieja calle donde godillo, tuya su vida, tuya ese querer, bajo el mirar de las estrellas que con indiferencia hoy volver. Con la frente marchita, la nieve del tiempo, la tierra un cielo, sentí que es un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que febril la mirada, errante la sombra de buscar te nombra vivir. Con el alma felada, un dulce recuerdo, otra vez. Tengo miedo del encuentro con el pasado que vuelve a enfrentarse con mi vida. Tengo miedo de
I was watching this documentary the other day about monkeys, about primates, and they were following this like baboon through the African savannah or whatever, and it was being chased by this cheetah, and the baboon was like had been attacked before, so it was covered in blood and like gashes, and the camera zoomed in really close and you could see all like the red fur, and it had like a gash like out by its eye, I think. And I remember thinking how like harsh and brutal it seemed, because for us, any kind of blood or bleeding or violence within our species is horrendous, and we don't like to think of anyone we know being hurt or anyone we care about being hurt or bleeding like that. And I think it just kind of hit home how like brutal the natural world is, because I used to be quite religious, and they talk about how one day everything's going to be perfect and all pain will go, and just knowing that exists without us is quite scary in a way, because part of me wants to think that we're the only thing that's wrong in the world, we're the only thing that causes pain, we're the only thing that bleeds in that way, which obviously is horrendous. But anyway, at the end of this documentary, the family baboons came and they like scared off this cheetah together. And it was really, really powerful. And this limping, battered baboon sort of limbered off into the sunset. And that's just the way it works.
Afraid? No. I'm neither a fear, nor a presentiment, nor a hope of death. Why should I? With my hard constitution and temperate mode of living and unperilous occupations, I ought to and probably shall remain above ground till there is scarcely a black hair on my head. And yet I cannot continue in this condition. I have to remind myself to breathe, almost to remind the heart to beat, and it's like bending back a stiff spring. It is by compulsion that I do the slightest action, not prompted by one thought, and by compulsion that I notice anything which is not associated with one universal idea. I have a single wish, and my whole being and faculties are yearning to attain it. They have yearned towards it so long and so unwaveringly that I am convinced it will be reached, and soon, because it has devoured my existence. I am swallowed in the anticipation of its fulfillment. My confessions have not relieved me, but they may account for some otherwise unaccountable phases of humour. Oh God!
Another heavenly day. For Jesus Christ's sake, amen. World without end, amen. Begin, Winnie. Begin your day, Winnie.
Like light, like dark, like shape, contained and ever changing, like the earth, moving, always moving. The form of a kiss, of a look. The form of a body and the form of a face and the form of words. That's quite a form. Words. Even thoughts have some sort of form, and even life. Present, growing, changing, feeling. Is it for me? I often wonder, but I wonder many things. It's all just a performance. Everything, every form, every being, every trick. The bad things, the really bad things, the good things, the awful things. It's all just an intangible shape, slipping like water. You can't quite, you know? But that's okay. That is okay.
can I then return in happy plight, that am debarred the benefit of rest?
Water is what water gives.
When day's oppression
Water
is
is more
not
than half
eased
of what
by
I am
night,
now. Water
but
is the
day
start
by
of what we
night
were
and
before.
night by day
We were born
oppressed.
in water. Out
And
of water.
each, though
From
enemies to either's
water. Out of
reign,
water.
do
From
in
water
consent
into water.
shake hands to torture me,
Water
the one by
gives
toil,
life.
the other to
Water is
complain.
life.
How far I
And water
toil,
can take
still
life.
farther off from thee. I tell the day to
Water
please
cold.
him thou art bright, and
water
dost
warm.
him grace when clouds do
Water
blot the heaven.
inside warm and water
So
outside
flatter
cold.
I the swart
Water is me.
complexioned night, when sparkling
water.
stars twire not thou
I was born
gild'st
in water,
the evil.
and I can die in water too.
But day doth
I lie
daily
in water.
draw my sorrows
I
longer,
wash in water.
and night
Wash away
doth
nights in
nightly
water.
make
Wash away all
weeks
that I was and
length
am before
seem
in water. Drip drop.
Oh, really?
What would you want?
Well, you know, I'll tell
A
you
totally
what there is about
selfish
me.
fucking wish.
There is
What
an
would you want for you?
overwhelming, and there is an all-pervading
I used to
hatred.
play this game with Alex
A
when
hatred
I
of
found an
people
eyelash
like
loose on the
you.
cheek, side of the nose, you'd
People
gather it
who
up
lay
and then you'd hold it
even
out
the
to blow.
littlest finger
You get a wish.
children.
And we played it here that first night and she
I
found
woke
one
up
of
there.
me. She held it up.
It wakes me up.
I looked at her and I
It
thought,
rides on the bus with me to work.
I wish this was
Whispers
enough.
to me they'll not get away with it.
She used to say, I love you,
I come in
a way
early.
that made me cringe.
I make sure all
I
the
love
bindings
you,
are
Neil.
clean
It
and
was
the
rhyming,
electrodes are in the
soft
right
pity and
order,
tone that meant,
so we
"Don't
won't
leave me."
waste time.
As though she
And I
knew in
admit
her
it,
heart that if she
sometimes
piled on enough
I use
emotional guilt, then
excessive
maybe I would.
force. And sometimes I
And
use
when I did-
excessive force on an entirely innocent individual.
Oh, at least now I'm free.
But I'll tell you this.
At least
If
now I
an
want to
entirely
listen to
innocent
that bleating
individual
tone
leaves
again.
this room for the outside world, they're not even going to
Of course I
contemplate raising their voice to a little kid again, just in case I hear
Although
them
it
and
wasn't
drag them
first
back in here for another load of excessive fucking force.
It's me. I love you, Caroline.
No.
Don't leave me, Caroline.
Is this kind of behaviour?
You know, I always
an
had this
officer of the
arrogant
law shall
sensibility
grow
that I deserve better.
morally?
That I wasn't going to settle for second rate, and here was Caroline making the same fucking declaration about me.
Because when I'm an old man, you know what?
You know, it made
Little
me think
kids
of all
are
the
gonna know my
times when
name
Alex said
and
I
what
love
I
you.
stood for. And they're going to follow me around and give me some of
Maybe
their
that's
sweets
exactly
and
what
thanks.
she
And I'm going
meant.
to take those sweets and thank them and tell them to get home safe, and I'm going to be happy. Not because of the sweets. I don't like sweets. But because I'd know in my heart that if I hadn't been there, not all of them would have been there. Because I'm a good policeman.
Spinning spider tap, insole. Rearrange the cleansing ritual. Goddess of flow. The moment electricity is conducted between the sky and earth, covering all with a shower of glow. Underneath is the secret to the outer. Some of us survive, because of invisible patterns that make us who we are. Lying is far worse than any tragedy and precurses all tragedies. It is far more brutal than anything else in nature. All totalitarian actions in the personal and in regimes of the cultural are based on the web of lies.
Above the water and against the mountain, the geese fly through the brushed darkness of the early morning and out into the light. They travel over my immovable house with such unison of faith and with such assurance toward the south, cresting the mountains and the long coast of a continent as they move each year toward a horizon they have learned to call their own. I know this house and this horizon and this world I have made. I know this silence and the particular treasures and terrors of this belonging, but I cannot know the world to which I am going. I have only this breath and this presence for my wings, and they carry me in my body, whatever I do, from one hushed moment to another. I know my innocence and I know my unknowing, but for all my successes I go through life like a blind child who cannot see, arms outstretched, trying to put together a world. And the world works on my behalf, catching me in its arms when I go too far. I don't know what I could have done to have earned such faith, but what of all the others, and the bitter lovers, and the ones who were not held? Life turns like a slow river, and suddenly you are there, at the edge of the water with all the rest, and the fire carries the feast and the laughter, and in the darkness, away from the fire, the unspoken griefs that still make togetherness. But then, just as suddenly, it has become a fireless, friendless night again, and you find yourself alone, and you must speak to the stars, or the rain-filled clouds, or anything at hand to find your place. When you are alone, you must do anything to believe, and when you are abandoned, you must speak with everything you know and everything you are in order to belong. If I have no one to turn to, I must claim my aloneness. If I cannot speak, I must reclaim the prison of my body. If I have only darkness, I must claim the night. And then, even in the closest dark, the world can find me. And if I have honor enough for the place in which it finds me, I will know it is speaking to me and where I must go. Watching the geese go south, I find that even in silence, and even in stillness, and even in my home alone, without a thought or a movement, I am part of a great migration that will take me to another place. And though all the things I love may pass away, and the great family of things and people I have made around me will see me go, I feel them living in me like a great gathering ready to reach a greater home. When one thing dies, all things die together, and must live again in a different way. When one thing is missing, everything is missing and must be found again in a new whole. And everything wants to be complete. Everything wants to go home, and the geese traveling south are like the shadow of my breath flying into the darkness on great heartbeats to an unknown land where I belong.
The waves crash and break, but never say a word. Or do they scream for help and are just misheard? Tirelessly falling into this very sand, building up the foundations upon where I stand. An endless fight with wind and time, washing up rocks onto the shoreline. The sand, the sea, the bright blue sky. It's all so clear even in my mind's eye. There's a magpie, butterfly, something I can't justify. This beautiful land with nothing I would modify. Listen, the water's flowing, the sun is glowing, rock pools overflowing with nature. Thank you to our creator, you are our saviour. And as I'm crouching here now, I'm thinking these words won't allow me to see the beauty. So come on, I'll show you.